Hello there, fellow NPCs. I'm Scythe, and today we're getting back into Everlasting Summer. And we have finally found Shurik. And everything is back to the way it was before he disappeared. So now we can continue. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. We are currently starting day 5 here. And I believe we might be dreaming, because we ran is a weird way to start off a day. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, let's go. We ran. Ran with the last of our strength. Like those who run for their precious lives. Like a doomed person, knowing that there is no hope to save his life, will still fight the inevitable and his own fate. Son of a fuck! I barely managed to close the heavy metal door behind me. Oh, we're having a nightmare. We believe it's the bombing now. I have no idea how deep this bomb shelter is or if it's able to withstand a nuclear blast, but we have no other place to hide. She gripped my hand tight. Don't be afraid. Bits of the ceiling were falling and the walls were shaking. I was prepared for the worst. But the death is the kind of thing that you can't ever be prepared for. But suddenly, complete silence fell. It rang even louder than the explosions. Maybe it's time to say goodbye. She was whimpering. I wanted to comfort her somehow, but realized that there is nothing I could do. Yes. You know, Oh, fuck off! Oh, that was loud. A horrible bang almost split my eardrums. It seems that I'm under a piece of collapsed ceiling, but I don't feel any pain. All I want is to not let her go. No more explosions. Good, thank you. I woke up in a cold sweat, short of breath and gasping for air. It took me some time to come to my senses. It was a dream. It was just a dream. Okay, so what I didn't realize there as we were going through it was I was talking to someone. It wasn't me just thinking for myself. I was talking to someone down there. Their name was ... There was someone down there with me, but I don't know who. My questioning mind, however, refused to believe it. But who was the girl with me there? Yeah, exactly. I didn't want to let go of her so desperately. Sadly, I couldn't recall her at all. The clocks were showing a few minutes past 10. I slowly came to my senses and reality started to stake out its claim on my mind. My stomach fully growled. Fully? Foully? I don't know. Alright, war is war, but lunch should be served in due time. It turned out that Olga Dmitrievna wasn't here. She must have decided not to wake me up. Well, thanks. Well, thanks to our... What? What's wrong with this sentence? Thanks go out to our camp leader for this. After yesterday's adventure, I had to have a rest. Last night remained a blurry memory which I really didn't want to think about. It's now more important to find something to eat and to wash myself. Exactly. Because a pioneer must always be clean and tidy. Though I would agree with this principle, even if I wasn't a pioneer, and as a matter of fact, I'm not. On my way to the washstand I met Electronic. He started to wave his hand and ran up to me. Good morning. Thanks to you for finding Shurik. Without him I don't even... It's nothing. Yeah, I was a bit embarrassed. No, really, don't be so shy. The country must be proud of its heroes. And what about Shurik? How did he look this morning? Is he alright? After yesterday's craziness, I thought such a question was completely valid. Yes, absolutely. The only thing is that he can't remember anything. Can't he? I wasn't surprised at all. It says that he went to the abandoned camp yesterday and then woke up in his bed in the morning. Oh, so he doesn't even remember waking up in front of Genda. In the square. I mean, he remembers nothing between those two events. I see. Alright then. You missed breakfast, right? Come to our club. We'll feed you. I have something special. Electronic smiled in a conspiratorial way. Thanks. I'll come. Probably. I had to wash myself first anyway. We'll be waiting. He waved at me and left to carry out his own business. There was nobody near the washstands. The water turned out surprisingly warm today. It's been warmed up already, I guess. Having my face washed, I realized that it wouldn't be easy to wash the rest of my body here. Maybe I should go to the showers. But since there is nobody here, I turned the tap in such a way so the water streamed parallel to the ground and started to take off my gloves. And what if somebody sees me? Well, I'll rinse and dry myself quickly and put on my clothes. The water, which seemed to warm on my hands and face, felt bone-chillingly cold on my body. The whole washing process took no longer than 10 seconds and I started to wipe myself quickly afterwards. But I didn't manage to finish anyway. There were voices coming in from the direction of the footpath. The only solution came to me in a split second. I grabbed my clothes and dashed into the bushes. Oh, Alyssa and Uliana. A moment later, Alyssa and Uliana appeared near the washstands. You could have done it by yourself. Why did you bring me here? Is it a big deal for you? Fine, let me. I peered at them and noticed that they were both covered in red paint. What a surprise. I wonder how they managed that. Stop! They are of questionable age. I will say, however, nothing sexual ever happens to Uliana. I will say that. I do remember that. That is a big deal. Alyssa opened the valve and started to rub Uliana's back. Take off your bra. What if somebody sees us? Wait. I believe nothing sexual happens to her. Because that was a big deal for me. You know. That cannot happen. When the first time I played. What? Is there anything to see? She grinned. Okay, just be quick. Okay, yeah, you still can't see anything, but I can't show it either. It was true that there wasn't much to look at, but even so, I stared at the girls narrowly. It was a pity that they were standing with their backs to me. You're a grown man in your 30s. Yeah? Don't do that. Don't think like that. No. A minute later, Alyssa managed to wash off all the paint. I'm done. Thanks. You're welcome. Alyssa replied lazily. Listen, let me try on yours. She pointed at Alyssa's bra. It won't fit you for sure. Well, I'd like to try anyway. But out here? There's nobody here, right? Uliana looked my way and smiled archly. You little shit! I was absolutely sure she couldn't see me in the bushes, but... Enough with this nonsense. Uliana wasn't listening to her anymore and grabbed Alyssa's bra with a dexterous move instead. Now I have to confess, I had something to look at. Okay, it's a bit of self-censor here. I watched the two girls chase one another around the washstands with bated breath. Alyssa covered her breast with her hand, and so I could barely see anything at all. I leaned forward and stumbled over a stone, falling out of the bushes. Frickin' idiot. Alyssa and Uliana stood frozen, staring at me. I tried to cover my nudity with my guilty face. The tableau lasted. Oh right, he's naked too. right. The tableau lasted for a few seconds, then Alyssa took her shirt and somehow put it on in an instant. You! Her face gone from red to purple. It looked like she would explode in a nuclear blast any second. The only thing I wanted to do was to disintegrate into atoms and get as far from the epicenter as possible. He was sitting there the whole time. So she noticed me then. You. And I accidentally, if you know what I mean. Alyssa rushed at me. Covering my butt with one hand and holding my clothes with the other, I ran in the woods. It seemed the best solution to me at that time, as showing up naked in the middle of the camp accompanied by 2 screaming girls wasn't a good idea. I ran without looking back, and stopped a few minutes later to catch my breath. It seemed that there was no pursuit, so I managed to save myself, but at the cost of lacerated, scratched and bleeding feet, as I had no time to put on my boots. I sat on a tree stump and sighed. Sometime later, having dressed already, I left the forest. I need to decide what to do next. My feet are hurting, so I should go straight to infirmary. But on the other hand, my stomach isn't going to wait either. Maybe I should accept Electronic's invitation, or head to the canteen in the hope of finding something left to eat there. Oh, I see. Kitchen, dining hall, canteen, infirmary, or the clubhouses. Well, I do have a lot of time to do it, so let's see if if there is no food here, it's just going to go right past it. So let's go. I always took good care of my health, and even better care at the moments when I couldn't bear it anymore. And now I was able to walk, and my feet weren't even hurting much. So my feet will heal up eventually, while hunger drives the wolf from the wood. Surely the pioneers didn't finish up everything. At least a couple of sausages, eggs, or in worst case a few pieces of bread should be left. It was so deserted and quiet around the canteen that I even hesitated for a second. Isn't it here where every pioneer seeks his happiness 3 times a day, and some even more often? Isn't it an oasis of this heated summer desert? Isn't it a secret chemical lab studying how types of meals unknown to science affects immature teenage bodies? Now this building looked more like a bastion abandoned by its defenders, a kind of La Rochelle, left by the Huguenots. I have no idea what that is. Just get in, and the ghosts of warriors who accept a heroic death here will surround you. The canteen looked the way it always did, though. It was just completely empty, except for Miku was cleaning the table. Oh, did I make a Miku choice here? Seeing that, I quickly turned around and tried to sneakily escape, but didn't manage to make it. Hi, Semyon. Did you come here to eat? You missed breakfast, didn't you? I mean, I didn't see you. You could have been here, but I didn't see you. It's good that you came anyway. Hi. Well, I just came wondering if there's anything left, maybe. There's nothing left. You need to wait for lunch. You won't help. You won't help me, by the way. I'm cleaning up here. What for? What do you mean? She puffed up her lips and seemed offended. Somebody has to clean up. We do it in turns. You will have your turn as well. Thanks, but no. Okay, got it. I was going to leave, but Miko still couldn't stop. So will you help me? No, I won't. You know, I have some things to do. Okay, fine. It looks like I've upset Miku. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Leaving the canteen, I sat on the bench standing by the door and sighed tiredly. My feet were still hurting a bit, although not as bad as before, and there was still nothing in my stomach. There was quite a bit of time until lunch, so I decided to go for a walk. I picked a random direction which could be explained by the single word, forward. In the end, I found myself at the square. This wasn't a surprise, as the monument again appeared to be the central hub of this camp and a kind of a kilometer zero. I don't know what a kilometer zero is. I sat on the bench and started to think. 4 days have passed and I haven't gotten even an inch closer to working out how I got here. It's true that quite a few strange things happened during this time, but almost every one of them can be explained logically after careful thinking. Every single one of them could have happened in normal life. Normal life. This term had lost its original meaning to me here. Reactions to the environment, the action and words of other people, or my own words, indeed. None of this here is normal. In the past 4 days my worldview had taken a series of painful punches to the stomach and uppercuts which led to it being, if not knocked out, then seriously knocked down. Sometimes I don't understand why I act one way or the other, or say some things. Actually, I do understand, but not straight away. Such afterthoughts, however, don't help me to act differently, more sanely, and appropriate to the situation at all. Moments of truth happening to me are becoming more and more rare. If my only wish during the first day was getting out of here, then now my main concerns are where to find food, how to avoid a lineup in the morning, and what to say to Olga Dmitrievna if Alyssa complains about me. And those things are truly important to me. And day after day, daily fuss like this overshadows the thoughts in my head about our world around me, together with this camp and these girls, are completely abnormal. But I can't do anything about myself, because I just forget. In the same way we breathe without thinking about it, I'm joining in the everyday life of the local inhabitants more and more without realizing it. I'm steadily becoming an average pioneer. No, this is wrong. I shouted loudly and slapped my face a few times. All of a sudden the bells sound, calling the pioneers for the lunch, come from the loudspeakers. Finally! I ran skipping along to the canteen, leaving my inspiring thoughts back at the square where they could have sound interesting to Genda alone, and only if he was alive. The day has just started and I've gone through so many things already. But I did it and now have legitimate grounds to fill myself up. Today, I wasn't the last one, so I could choose a free table. Lunch included pea soup and mashed potatoes with fish. It was a major disappointment to me as I don't eat fish in any form and hence will get a fewer calories than usually. Soon Slavia and Lena came to my table. But I think also that if that's all they have to offer to you, then you do eat it. You know, you're gonna have to change up a few things about how you do things, you know? Can we? She smiled nicely. Yeah, sure. I stood up and pulled out a chair for her. Please. I was in an excellent mood at that moment. Enjoy your meal. Saying that, Lena began staring at me and continued for some time, but then, after realizing how odd she looked, switched to her plate. You too. Do you have any plans for today, Semyon? Nope. I gave her an honest answer, as indeed I had no plans. Except for searching for answers, but that was more like a global goal. Do you want to take a boat ride to the island with us? The island? Well, I think I've seen it from the pier. For what? Olga Dmitrievna asked us to gather some strawberries. There are a lot of strawberries there and they're so delicious. I could imagine the taste without even eating them, just by looking at Slavia's face. Strawberries. And what are those for? I don't know, but it's indeed a great idea. Well, indeed it is. Moreover, I haven't been to the island yet. Yeah, sure. Oh, so we're just going straight to the island then. Okay. Within 15 minutes, we were already standing at the pier. Well, here is the boat. Hang on, I'll go and fetch the paddles now. I was left face to face with Lena. Do you like strawberries? Well, not really. But they're tasty. Lena smiled. I see. I didn't know what to say next, how to continue the conversation. If Slavia didn't come back, we could probably sit here till the evening without saying a word. Here you go. She handed me a pair of hefty paddles. Yeah. Thanks. We are going to the island. We got into the boat. I untied it, pushed off the shore and tried to start paddling. And where exactly are we heading to? Right there. She pointed her finger at the island. That island is named the closest one. I wonder what captain gave it such an original name. Well, the island is indeed close to the shore. Aye, aye, captain. If only I'd known what was waiting for me ahead. I wasn't an experienced oarsman. I rowed a boat once or twice in my entire life. It was less than half a mile to the island, but we were making our way in zigzags thanks to my skills. By approximately the middle of the trip, my arms hurt so badly that I dropped the paddles to get some rest. Well, aren't there any strawberries anywhere else? I mean, in more accessible places? But the tastiest one grows there. Slavia gave me a puzzled look. Is it hard for you to row alone? Lena, unlike Slavia, understood everything straight away. Oh, it's nothing. Anyway, I couldn't let a fragile girl help me. The rest of the way I spent concentrating on staying alive while getting to the island. Slavia and Lena discussed something about I wasn't listening. That was too much for me. At last, we arrived. Completely exhausted, I got onto the shore and I looked at the boathouse. It seemed so far away that it felt like a first person on the moon watching the earth rise. Here you go. Slavia handed me a basket. It was a small island, barely 100 meters long, and it looked more like a birch grove with even rows of trees covering its entire surface. A calm green sea spreads beneath our feet with a wind causing lonely waves on its surface from time to time. This island looked like a lost paradise. It's no wonder that the most delicious strawberries grow just here. We gotta split up. That way we'll do the job faster. Yeah, sure. But there are only 2 baskets. Yeah, that was poor planning, Slavia, said Lena humbly. Oh, you're right. My bad. So how are we going to split up then? Go with Lena, go with Slavia. I can go with Lena. I have to choose one. Yeah, she was showing concern for me on the boat. Let's go with that argument, shall we? Let me go with you. Let's go. Okay, that's fine. Slavia grabbed the second basket and ventured to the opposite side of the island. Well? Well? Let's go? Yeah. Lena smiled. Just pay attention. Don't leave a single berry behind. You too. So, it was harvest time. Indeed, the strawberries here were delicious. I could probably eat them all if I didn't stop myself in time. Despite being wild grown, the berries were close to garden ones in size and had a rich red color, so it was clear that our visit here wasn't in vain. Lena followed me closely as we had only one basket for the both of us. I felt like a real mushroom picker, examining each shrub and carefully parting the grass. Well, you're much better than me. Am I? Frankly, I'm not even counting them. Yeah, right you are. The basket was already half full. You must enjoy nature, right? I do. Huh? The bright sun rays pierced the treetops and blinded me for a second. I sat down on the ground and leaned against a tree. Still, so beautiful here. Lena sat down next to me, so close that our elbows touched. Yeah, we just sat and enjoyed the moment. Seemed like time stood still. The wind gently shook the tree leaves. Some bugs lazily hopped around the grass and splashed out sunlight played on the faraway water surface. Wait, why is my... No, it's her hand. Oh, her hand is going down between her legs. I thought it was my hand going down there. Like, what the hell? But no, my hand is over here. Lena put her head on my shoulder. I was surprised at first, but then I heard her regular breathing and thought that it's just a matter of course. Probably she felt drowsy and wanted to take a quick nap. I'm actually gonna check if I'm also on the Lena path, so bear with me, okay? No, it doesn't seem like I'm on Lena's path here. We just get this scene because we got on the right track. But we don't have enough points to actually score a good ending with Lena. So yeah, let's continue. Probably she felt drowsy and wanted to take a quick nap. I just sat there and didn't think of anything for a few minutes. But then words started crossing my mind with ultrasonic speed. Lena, so close, sleeping, so warm, so gentle, feelings. I gazed at her. She had such a serene, such a tranquil look on her face that it seemed that right now she is not here, but in some kind of a better world. I don't know what would have happened the next moment if I didn't hear that voice of Slavia. Semyon! Lena! I shook my head from side to side a few times to come to my senses. Lena started to wake up. She opened her eyes and gave me an empty look. Have a nice dream? Huh? Suddenly realizing that she had dozed off leaning on my shoulder, Lena blushed. Oh, I'm sorry. It's fine. Slavia came over to us, so Lena rushed to get up. So, how much do you got? I sighed. That's not a lot. Her basket was filled with strawberries to the brim. Well, it's enough anyway. It's time to get back. I grabbed the basket and we headed back to the boat. The way back took less time as I tried to concentrate on rowing, ignoring everything else. My only wish was to get back alive, as the first trip hadn't gone without consequences, and now my hands started to hurt after only a few sweeps of the oars. Having tied up the boat, I fell to the ground with no energy left. Slavia and Lena leaned over me. You could have said something if it was so hard for you. Yes. Never mind. It's fine. I just lie here for a bit and everything will be alright. Okay, then get those baskets to Olga Dmitrievna, please. We have something else to do. Yeah, sure. I was ready to agree with anything at that moment, just so I wouldn't have to get up. Slavia put the basket full of strawberries next to me and headed to the square, happily chatting with Lena about something. The hardest part is done anyway. That's what I thought before I got up and took the baskets. After the rowing, they felt like cement bags, even while weighing barely more than a few kilograms each. Dude, if you have kilograms of strawberries, then you got some big-ass bags. So the trip to the camp leader's cabin took much longer than usual. I had to stop every 50 meters to have a rest. Once I finally made it, put the basket on the ground and sat on the deck chair with difficulty. Olga Dmitrievna, I got presents for you. There was no answer. I barely managed to get up and enter the cabin. There was nobody there. If you don't need them, it's up to you. I lay down in the deck chair and fell asleep. Those are giant strawberries. What the hell, man? I had a weird dream about a strawberry race. I was rowing a boat with my last ounces of strength, trying to escape huge berries that were chasing me. My hands were failing me and I could barely see anything because of the sweat covering my face. Blood was hammering in my temples, but the strawberries were getting closer. They were baring their teeth at me. But wait, strawberries with teeth? Semyon? I woke up. Olga Dmitrievna was standing beside me, shaking my shoulder. I see you got a rich harvest, didn't you? Yep, I tried my best. We are not giving the credit to the girls here. Okay, but that's not all. Seriously, I was just anticipating the lovely rest I was about to have. Do you even know what these strawberries are for? Not a clue. What an honest confession. I'll make a cake out of them. I see. Well, that makes sense. To honor the miraculous rescue of Scythe. And it's all thanks to you. So, not only did I save Scythe, I also have to go fetch ingredients to make the cake for rescuing him. If anything, you should be celebrating me here. Go find the strawberries yourself, damn it. It was clear that getting the strawberries wasn't the last thing left to do. And why? Please tell me. If I'm such a hero, why do I have to organize the celebration in my name all by myself? Exactly. Things doesn't check out here. Everything is all about how I can do stuff. Well, I guess. So, I have an important task for you. We're missing yeast, flour and sugar. And need it all in the canteen before dinner. And those who will make the cake can't deal with it on their own somehow. I asked pitifully. Of course they can't. All of them are busy. And you are the only one in the whole camp who does nothing. While the words were partly true, that doesn't make it any easier for me now. Moreover, those words felt like a bullet to my head. So, write it down. You'll get the yeast in the infirmary, flour in the library, and sugar in the clubhouse. Wait up. I have no time. I'm in a hurry. Good luck. She smiled slyly and left. Now, of course, there are a lot of strange things in this camp, but... Yeast in the infirmary? Okay, I can deal with that, but... Flour in the library? And sugar? No, it's way beyond my comprehension. I spat on the floor. I don't want to, and I will not believe this. Tell me, just tell me you're pulling my leg. I would not be surprised if a crowd of fat green trolls would appear here right now and beside me, with every one of them feeling obligated to laugh at me. So maybe to hell with this cake. I weighed my options for some time. No. If such a major plan of Olga Dmitrievna's fell through, I'd be in a world of hurt. And it would complicate my life in the camp and my search for answers, which I've stopped for quite a while. Seems I have no choice. So yeah, we have to go to these 3 different places and look for ingredients for a cake. But that is something we will be doing in the next episode. We are going to go cake hunting. So yeah. We had a sweet little moment with Lena, but she's not on. We are not on her path, so that will not. Nothing bore fruit with that. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and thank you Josef for donating directly to my Ko-fi page. If you guys want to help me out, you can do so by clicking the link down in the description. I'll see you guys in the next one, and remember, just because you're not the main character, does not mean you're not important. Goodbye everyone.